Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while since I've made a video. So many things have happened. I launched a new product with my company. Just been super busy, kind of pivoting our offering with this new kind of chaotic environment that we're in. Yeah, it's been a crazy and exciting year. The holidays were fun. Did some obviously filming over the holidays with my Diablo character. That character's kind of grown a lot. I'm in Nightmare 4 now. I'm going to jump on there in just a minute, but I just wanted to cover some newsy related items here. Freaking Jensen's gangster. He had a really cool interview recently where he was talking about the future of intelligence, and I love this perspective. Obviously, I'm like not the biggest. It's funny because it's like, I've always I think I've always really leaned on my EQ and like my empathy and my ability to like kind of gauge whether I'm kind of a good fit for a group or a team or something. And so I think that saved me in a lot of ways where it's like I kind of find my own way out of a situation if it's not working out before, anybody kind of like makes a big deal about it. I'm just pretty self-critical, so that helps me be self-aware in a lot of situations, and like kind of try to be authentic, right? And yeah. So it's funny. Recently, he was like with, artificial intelligence and like the semantic reasoning behind it. The new baseline for intelligence is going to be like emotional, and it's going to be more kind of like people who can, be able to gauge situations and predict issues just based on, a bunch of fluid facts, bunch of fluid data points. And so I think it's a really fascinating take. Anyway, I wanted to look at this. NVIDIA CEO pushes back against report that his company's $100 billion OpenAI investment has stalled. I mean, it's understandable. I think this new era of AI is extremely chaotic. I think, this new era of AI is putting pressure on people because, the entire world is changing in a lot of ways. And the reason why I think that is because really kind of even before AI, with any type of automation, whether it was robotic process automation, machine learning, et cetera, the focus was Kubernetes, right? So like these containerized environments that you're kind of automating via scripts and, different things like configuration or policy as code. Those are really interesting. Those are interesting things. And I think that entire foundation kind of benefited from this kind of X as code, or, put a word in there as code movement. And so that really kind of amplifies generative AI and AI in general, because when you do have an X as code movement, I mean, when everything is code, right? And like AI specializes in generating syntax, that's kind of what its primary output is. It can do natural language, related output, but I mean, I've read somewhere that it's 30% more efficient at syntax and code related tasks. And so, yeah, I mean, the whole world's changing. Everything is being affected by artificial intelligence, and it's getting more and more dependable and robust, and it's going to start interfacing with physical reality more and more, which is just a kind of life-changing era, life-changing occurrence. It's insane. And so, there's going to be chaos, volatility with investments and anything that touches really tech. And that's everything these days. So I totally get it. Like, I'm not surprised by this headline. It's kind of silly. There's nothing else. I looked earlier. There's nothing to excited. Blue Origin pauses space tourism. It's so corny. There's so many industrial use cases for space. I'm excited to see some of those emerge. I've always been bullish on like helium mining, just because of the scarcity here on Earth and stuff. It's going to be some cool things. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been thinking about, other than the volatility of like politics and culture and like the crazy shit that's going down in Minneapolis and stuff. And none of that feels good. I think a lot of people just want, you know, a reason to exist and work and be inspired and feel like there's going to be a year or two away from the current date. And that's kind of where I've been living. I've just been trying to focus on ways to create things for people that they need and want, and find funding too, and find people that want to pay for some of that cool stuff. So, Infernal Hordes, let's go. My dude's doing really well. How's everybody else doing? If anyone has any like you know, strong, I think one of the interesting, speaking of volatility, I think one of the interesting highly volatile things has been kind of currency and assets and stuff. Like, I don't really understand it a ton, just because, you know, right when I think I understand it, there's some like legit chaos. Let's see, not bad dealing average. Cool. Let's do this one. Right when I think I understand it, all of a sudden it's like, you know, there's like crazy precious metal scarcity, and the price of precious metals just like tanks. So it seems like super manipulated and sketchy. I don't get it. You know, anything that like conflicts with material reality and logic, like just hard logic, it's not speculative, seems fishy to me. And so if anybody understands kind of why precious metals seem to have pumped and dumped a little bit, it was like really impressive for a thing to occur. I'd be interested. Also, like, if anyone knows anything about crypto, and, you know, in such a volatile world, even when, like, you know, common allies, look at, you know, Europe and the United States and stuff with all the Greenland thrash, you'd think that even if people were not super excited about the dollar or whatever, they'd pivot to something that was like still more liquid, semi, you know, decentralized. You could still, maybe not like radically decentralized, but you'd think cryptocurrency would be doing a lot better. I mean, years ago it was pumped quite a bit. Now it's like more relevant than ever with all the ETFs, and, you know, Apple Pay just came out with something that was crypto related, and, you know, there's all this strife in the world that would, like, you know, really put pressure or emphasize something that was semi-decentralized as like a surrogate for whatever currencies are being, you know, manipulated or attacked or whatever. Really interested in the financial gurus to hop on and be like, hey, this is why, you know, despite this administration being incredibly bullish on crypto, and compared to the last U.S. administration, crypto's doing much worse, and precious metals are tanking, and other assets are kind of stagnant. Really, really, really interested in what your takes are there. But yeah, this isn't some like crazy finance channel. It's just like more of a culture, like, why does life feel the way it feels channel. But yeah, how are you guys feeling about the whole Minneapolis thing? It's pretty intense, huh? I think people are really excited for some normalcy in their life. Dude, there's just been so much. It's like week after week. Everything's always accelerating in speed. I love the Nothing Ever Happens Wojak character. It's like, I feel like, you know, that's also a vibe too, where it's like, oh, it feels like there's a lot of motion. It feels like there's a lot of like stuff happening, but, you know, everything's going to stay the same like it always does. The whole Fulton County kind of like election fraud thing is kind of interesting as well. I wonder what's going to happen there. You never know like how much something's politicized or not. It's like impossible to parse reality sometimes, but I like to try. I think crypto is cool. The concept makes sense. I think like programmable money is kind of fun. I'm like a tech weirdo, so maybe I'm biased, but what do you guys think? You guys think it's cool? Oh, dude, what? A goblin in here? That's insane. Oh my God, he's massive. Yo. He's Aether. Oh my god, dude, this is so intense. No way. Look at all these goblins. Are you out of your minds, guys? Oh, this is how you get the, I think you can get like 666 or something on these guys or whatever to be able to open up that like hardcore portal. That is super cool. What? No way. Dude, this is insane. I wish I was like more capable. Oh, let's see what's going on here. See what's up here, boys. See what's up here, boys. Oh, no way, dude. No way. No way. Get out of here. No way. That was totally insane. What is that even called? That was nuts. I gotta pick up all this stuff before I lose any of it. I hope I took advantage of that. 291 by wave 4. It's not awful. Alright. Soul Spire. Whatever, let's try this one. I still gotta learn how to like stack these things, even if I don't know if you're supposed to or what, but that was cool. Oh man, I didn't even take potions. I should have taken some potions. I'll take a potion at the end of the next one, I guess. Just to give my guys some, just to give him some edge. So it sounds like this administration said they're bringing back insane asylums. I wonder in what form that's going to look. I mean, I've been kind of an advocate for that for a while. I think it's insane, no pun intended, that we closed them in the first place. Makes zero sense. I mean, you know, oh, no way. Finally, I dropped. This is the first time. I just ran one earlier, and I didn't get wrecked. How? So annoying. So frustrating. Again? Twice? You have 3 revives. Okay. That was super lame. What do you guys think of the insane asylums? How, like, what format do you think that'll come back? I wonder how gangster or not gangster that'll be. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if it'll even happen, you know? I don't know. It's like, I'll see it when I believe it. The sheer amount of construction that would have to happen would be interesting. I wonder if any of the old ones are salvageable or not. I wonder how you even like kind of bring those back. Damn, dude, this thing's insane. See what's up. 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 Oh, up. Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. 2 more. I'm only on wave 6. It's freaking insane. That's lame. Give me this. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. That would be crazy. I've been for a while. I think there's just like a lot of things. Like there's a lot of interesting medications that are you know, really spectacular that have like really bad side effects. I mean, spectacular from like could relieve people potentially, but it's like imagine they kind of paywall them behind being committed to a facility or something, so people like don't freak out and think they're hearing voices and just like hurt random people on public transportation, or whatever. That's crazy. I think one of the scariest things about, dude, are you? This is like the hardest shit I've ever done before. So annoying. Not ever, but you know, Diablo. It's been. The last one I ran wasn't this intense, I don't think. definitely like not doing that well. It's unfortunate. But damn, dude. What do you think the biggest risks with bringing back insane asylums are? I always freak out with like the typical like horror movie trope where they kind of like weaponize them, and it's like, you know, it's kind of the whole witch trial thing where it's like, you know, I disagree with a position you have, so we're gonna like institutionalize you, whatever, and we're gonna like make you seem like a crazy person. You kind of always hear about those things happening. It's always so intense. This one was hardcore last time. This format was really hardcore. But I also didn't have these like potions and stuff, so I'm interested to see how it goes. All right, I'm done. That sucks. That sucked so bad. That sucks so bad. I'm actually fucking triggered right now. God damn it. It's fucking pieces of shit. Oh, that was so bad. Whatever. I just got absolutely wrecked. I just ran one earlier and just like sold all my stuff. It was like really, it was really legit, but that was rough. That one was rough. But yeah, it's crazy. It's like all of a sudden, like I remember hearing crazy stories about like guys like not, you know, wanting to have an affair or something, so they'd like have their wife committed, you know, periodically to like an asylum or whatever, just so they can go and like hang out with this like other lady, which is just obviously awful. But it's shit like that, just like evil ass fucking selfish shit that like ruin the concept. And anything that's supposed to provide structure and an answer or something always, I feel like, ends up being exploited. So it's like, I don't know. That's what's so cool about the concept of like cryptocurrency, is like the decentralization of it. It's like anything that's like hard decentralized, where, you know, AI is like the mediator or something. And obviously everyone's going to say, yeah, it's based on the training. If it, like AI is trained poorly, it's going to like be negative or whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. Sure. But like, you know, I feel like human systems just like always compound and become worse and worse over time. And it's just, and then they end up just creating mechanisms to continue to survive way past this like relevance date. It's sad and gross. That's so weird. I'm just getting over this like illness. I don't know what it was. It was either like a flu or COVID or something. It's terrible. All right, time to stay alive. Time to stay alive. We can do it this time. We can do it this time, I promise. That was cool the last time with all of those goblins. I'm so mad I wasn't able to take advantage of that. That was like perfect. That one. Oh yeah. Let's keep it simple. 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 Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I think is kind of interesting, going back to the whole like gold assets and, you know, hedge against kind of fiat currencies and whatnot. The private vaults that exist, it reminds me of like Borderlands a little bit. It also reminds me of like Road Warrior, where I was looking into it. I was like, I wonder if there's anywhere you can like, like if you were to buy a bunch of precious metals instead of holding them yourselves, could you pay someone to like come pick them up? You know, fly, like essentially, like so let's say it was in like another state, they could fly to your state and convoy out to get your metal, and then, you know, obviously have like armed guards and stuff that like protect it on the way back to the private vault. And then like it would be so cool to have like some type of like chemical or acoustic sensors that are constantly like pulsing their storage just to say like, hey, it actually exists, right? Like here's like the interface for, you know, your weight in gold or your weight in precious metals, and you have this makeup. It's like X amount percentage gold, X amount percentage palladium, you know, a freaking Rolex in the vault, whatever. It's kind of sick just to have like, not to give it to like some random bank, but have like some badass like private Fort Knox type vibe with like a federated value that tells you exactly how much you have. It's like so badass. What would you call, like, what would a company like that be called? Like, I'm sure they exist, right? But like, I don't know if it's exactly like that with like the cool kind of chemical marker that tells you how much gold you have. It would be cool to call them something like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Call them something like, I know gold in Latin's Orium. All right, 4 revives. All right, like, time to lock in, guys. Come on. Time to lock in. Can't believe I got dropped at the end of that. Sucks. 8 waves. It's freaking crazy, dude. I don't even have that much ether. Seriously need to lock in right now. Oh yeah. Damn, bruh. Oh, no way, it's the fucking butcher? That's a thing? That's the thing? You better, bruh. You better drop something. That was crazy. That was legit crazy. Yeah, it'd be cool to be called like Orium Company or like, you know, the Orium Brigade, some like badass like name, dude, that like manages and collects and validates all the gold. It's so much cooler than like this corny ass cash. Like no one cares about this shit. It's so lame. Like I'm grateful to be able to have a financial system, right? But I mean, like, just the way that we've just irresponsibly been printing to create a bunch of fake programs that nobody needs, and a lot of them are just like scams and exploitative anyway. So like, dude, oh my god, the daycare shit that went down in Minneapolis, it's like one of the craziest things I've ever heard, and it's disgusting because it probably happens everywhere. Like, if you can justify that in your own small little brain, you're like a fucked up person. Like, literally, like the whole, of course I get wrecked, the whole concept of society is that we can all like kind of trust each other and depend on, you know, these systems that we fund holistically, right? And I know that's like that's so naive of a view of the world. I mean, the entire world is about exploitation, it seems like. But I mean, the foundation of society, the only reason we all cooperate with each other and like pretend to try to live together and, you know, create these, you know, different needs based on demand, and the whole like American kind of experiment, right, is like, it's all anchored on trust. And if your government isn't able to intercept fraud and prevent people from exploiting the system, you stop believing in the system, right? And it just has a compounding, cascading negative effect for everyone. That's why so many countries have never succeeded, right? So many of these countries that just like live for exploitation and corruption, and like they just, because like they can't, they don't have the ability to sustain a believable community, a believable society. And you know, if everyone's just living for like one fraud and then to you know, bail and move to Geneva or whatever, then you're never going to succeed as like a community or society or whatever. It's always going to be constant warlords and war and little kind of get rich quick schemes. It's the opposite of sophistication, right? And so, yeah, I'm excited to see the government start to crack down on that stuff and actually, have an opinion. All right, greatly increase attack speed. Hellborn can now ambush you. Elite damage. All right, let's try this one. Just be able to, it's exciting to see the government just be able to start to address that regardless of what party's in control. I mean, way less ether than I had last time. Damn, dude. I think it's so funny how fraud is a political position. You can be pro fraud or against fraud. it's like some political alignment. That should be the most bipartisan thing ever, right? And if you can't make that bipartisan, you're a disgusting shill that shouldn't be taken seriously. Has nothing to do with any type of party line. It's if you're exploiting a system and stealing money from people, that is not a political position, right? You should be cast away from society. All right, let's see what we got going on here. No! I'm pretty much fucked over that. It sucks. Slash cry. It's a cool one. Isn't that so cringe? To make fraud a political thing. Also, another theme that I've kind of noticed or whatever, and I thought of on Instagram, I was just looking and it's hard not to have some type of political kind of statement about something these days. Everything's so polarizing, but some people are just political 90% of the time. It's their entire identity. They have no personalities, and it's awful. I started just sharing any art I could find, any really cool, interesting, Renaissance-y, I'm a maker, I'm a creator, I've produced a product that people need. I'm interested in something more than just some, shilled out, manipulated perspective that people have. That's another funny thing I've noticed on Instagram. Also, I took the unpopular complexity page and I created a Instagram for it. And what I've been doing on that Instagram is just, I've realized I came up with this concept a year or two ago called ideological resiliency. I realized that you could never fact check anything for anyone, right? Or morality check anything for anyone, where, I just kind of tried to do that where I was hey, fraud sucks. And it's it seems logical, it seems you shouldn't want to steal from other people when they don't have control over taxes or money that's being taken from them every single year. It seems just reasonable. But the reality is like you're never going to convince someone of something that differs from their kind of like brand or whatever they've subscribed to from like a morality perspective or a logic perspective, right? If you're like hardcore conservative or hardcore certain flavor of conservative and you have like all these talking points, you're always going to lean into them. Same for, you know, hardcore liberal. You have like all these kind of like positions that are non-negotiables. It's very rare that they have something that they like aren't completely aligned on. They just follow like every single thing that's coming out of like their community's prescription book. And so you're never gonna like fact check convince someone of something. They're either gonna like just reject it because it like conflicts with their dogma, or they're gonna have confirmation bias and be like, see, I told you, right? Those are like the only two outcomes. So pretty much like for unpopular complexity, I've just like been publishing like all of these frameworks used that are just like bread and butter manipulation frameworks. Like one is like false equivalence, where you like compare something that's like not that serious to something that's extremely serious, and they're like a couple of degrees away from each other, but you're essentially trying to like emotionally exploit people to get mad at something and correlate it with like something far, far, far more extreme. And so it's been interesting. And so I'm going to keep creating those because they're fun for me to just produce. Of course, I don't have enough, damn it. But that was cool. That was a lot. Pew, pew. But yeah, I think it's like really, really interesting, that whole concept. I got to make sure I get 400 next time. Anyway, this is a fun video. It's great to record and just be back on here and have a reason to flex my sorcerer. Kind of got my ass kicked a bunch, which is funny, but I don't know. I'll try to be better next time. Anyway, have an awesome weekend, everyone. Later.